Good morning. On this week's episode of Haston Helping Hands, I'm going to talk to you about thinking you have something on lockdown and realizing you're still a work in progress. So a quote that I really love and have not been able to find attribution for is, "I protect my peace daily with unapologetic boundaries." And I would love to lecture to you from the lofty podium of my knowledge. I've got this figured out. I've got this on lockdown. However, I'm a practitioner just like you. So one of the reasons that I talk about this stuff is because I'm hoping that something I say will click in you and make it easier for you to work on the things that you're working on. So for instance, just yesterday, I apologized for a boundary that I set. And I really thought I had that down, where I was just saying, this is my boundary and that's it. And it's not terrible, it's not horrible, but it's frustrating to think that you have something accomplished and done and then realize, nope, I'm still struggling with that. So another thing that I've realized too is that I spent at least 20 years denying how important it was to get the right amount of sleep, go to bed at the same time every night, wake up the same time every morning. So of course it's going to take way longer to turn that habit around than just a couple of weeks. I went to a sleep seminar a couple of weeks ago talking about how important it is to get the right amount of sleep, things that we all know. But for some reason it landed on me differently because they talked about the link between dementia and Alzheimer's to getting the right amount of sleep. And that hit me differently. And because of that, I said, okay, this is something I can control. So I'm going to go ahead and try this for a little bit. It's not forever, just try it for right now. And been doing really well with that. And then last week I hit a wall. I started snoozing a little bit, like here and there, not every day. But again, for over 20 years, I did not actively do any of this. I said, well, it doesn't really matter. I love the snooze. It's my sixth love language. Like I just kept going on and on and on about how much it was so great. And it never occurred to me how good it was to do the opposite. And so I've been at that I'm going on 2 months now. And overall, it's going really well. It'd be very easy to get stuck in, oh God, I really thought I had that tackled. Well, you don't. So one of the reasons that I talk to you about this stuff is because I'm hoping that it will resonate with you and you'll share it with somebody. And one of the things that I realized recently is that I don't have things on lockdown. I so wish that I was standing at my podium and loftily lecturing you. But at the same time, that doesn't really appeal to people. One of the things that I'm learning is that you connect more with people by telling them your stories, telling them your firsts and your failures, as my coach Darren LaCroix likes to say. And on that topic, there have been some things recently that have come to light, some phrases that I have used that, for a long time, I prided myself on saying that I was a grammar Nazi. Well, I read an article just yesterday that talks about there's several phrases that we shouldn't use ever because they're appropriation in some way or another. They're triggering in some way. So from now on, I'm a grammar absolutist. And one of the things I really liked about this article, which I'll share below, is that it gives you options. So instead of just cutting you off and saying, no, you can't say that, and there's very good reasons why you can't say that, and really should never have said that, but let's go ahead and focus on the fact that you showed up at the party at all, let alone that you came late. These are some phrases that you can use instead. One that I've been really screwing up for a long time is instead of spirit animal, I said power animal, but I found out yesterday that in some cultures, people use those interchangeably. So it's cultural appropriation. So I've said for a long time that Kermit the Frog is that, but from now on, it's Kermit the Frog is my favorite Muppet. Super simple. It's the truth. There it is. So again, this is all to circle back to the main point, which is that you can think you have something on lockdown and still realize that you're a work in progress. It happens every single day. And the more grace you give yourself, the better it gets. Am I saying don't shoot for that goal that you're going for? No, that is not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying when it doesn't happen or when it isn't as good as you want it to be, give yourself some grace. So This week, my message is give yourself grace. And remember that you're always learning. So I think a good place to end this is I protect my peace daily with unapologetic boundaries, mostly, because that leaves room for the fact that I definitely don't have this on lockdown. And I'm guessing there's something in your life that you don't have on lockdown either, but you thought that you did. Go ahead and tell me about it in the comments. You'd be amazed at how many people respond to that kind of thing, and maybe they don't necessarily comment, but they feel the same way. And so my hope is always that with this weekly message, I inspire you, motivate you, or frustrate you. Go ahead and tell me some phrases that maybe you've used and some of your learning that you've had along the way. So hopefully we can all learn together. I'm Jenn Haston, and this has been Haston Helping Hands.